Welcome to Speakeasy Spirits. Before I shot my first YouTube cocktail video 2 years ago, I had already started planning a series of cocktail videos called Tiki-fy This, where I take classic cocktails that are about as far from a tiki drink as you can get and try to change them into a tiki-style cocktail. After 2 years, I still haven't gotten around to shooting any of those videos because one classic cocktail has always stumped me. How do I make a tiki version of an old-fashioned? An old-fashioned is about as far as you can get from a tiki cocktail. Tiki cocktails have lots of ingredients. An old-fashioned has whiskey, bitters, and sugar. A tiki cocktail uses citrus and tropical juices. There's no juice in an old-fashioned. An old-fashioned uses whiskey, which is not an ingredient that's very common in tiki. So coming up with a tiki old-fashioned recipe has taken me about 2 years, but I think I've finally got it. Let's tackle the recipe that has stumped me for 2 years and see if I figured it out. Whiskey really isn't common in tiki drinks, and since the old-fashioned is primarily just a glass of whiskey with some sugar and a few dashes of bitters, we're going to switch it up and make a rum old-fashioned. So our base for this is going to be some Planteray, Stiggin's pineapple rum, and their Cut Dry Coconut Rum. Now before you turn off this channel, this is not Malibu rum. You may be used to those pineapple and coconut rum liqueurs. Those are only 20% alcohol, contain a ton of sugar and a lot of artificial flavors, where these start with a base of aged rum, good quality aged rum. In the case of the Stiggin's pineapple, they're starting with their original dark rum, which is already a really good dark rum. They infuse some pineapple flavor into that by leaving some pineapples in the barrel for 3 months. Then they take some pineapple rinds and distill those to get those essential oils out. They blend those two together and you get this wonderful pineapple rum that doesn't have any of that sticky sweetness you might be used to. There's none of that artificial suntan lotion smell here. This is just a good rum infused with some pineapple flavor with no added sugar. They're doing much the same thing with the Cut Dry Coconut Rum, where they dry some coconuts to make the flavors more intense and then infuse those into their Barbados rum. So again, you get something that's not sweet. It's a traditional rum with a hint of coconut flavor on the back. Now let's make some cocktails. We're going to do one old-fashioned with each of these rums. So we're going to make one in a mixing glass and one we're going to build right in the rocks glass. For our sugar, keeping the tiki theme, we're going to use some organic brown coconut sugar. And for this, we're going to do a bar spoon in each glass. You want to make that a nice heaping bar spoon. These both are going to start the same way. To the sugar, we're going to add several dashes of Angostura bitters. We want to put that right on top of the sugar and let it start to dissolve. We're going to make the pineapple old-fashioned over here in the mixing glass and the coconut in the rocks glass. Now we need some ice. This is where the two cocktails are going to start to differ. For the coconut one, we're going to use a standard large cube of ice. But for our pineapple tiki old-fashioned, I have frozen some coconut water. So we're going to drop that in. And now we'll add our rum. Let's start with 2 ounces of the Stiggin's pineapple. Just enough left in that bottle. And over here, 2 ounces of the Cut Dry Coconut. Now let's give those a stir. Now the reason that I'm doing the 2 different ice cubes is this one is just to chill it and we'll get a nice coconutty old-fashioned. But over here, as we stir it, we're going to dilute some of that coconut water into the rum And we're going to have pineapple and coconut flavors combined for kind of a pina colada of old fashions. Now you want to stir this until it's well chilled. We do want to get some dilution off of that coconut ice cube. We also want to make sure that all of that granulated sugar that's at the bottom of this glass gets dissolved. Still a little bit of sugar in there, so stir it another 5 or 10 seconds. If some of it's not fully dissolved, that's fine. It'll sit in the bottom of the glass and be a nice little sweet treat at the end of the drink. Usually as a garnish for an old-fashioned, you'd express some orange oil out of an orange peel over these, but instead of orange, we're going to use some lime. Now lime is notoriously hard to express any oils out of, so what I'm going to do is cut a coin, which is just cutting a disc off of there. We'll try our best to express some of that over the top. And we'll drop that into our glass. So let's strain our pineapple old-fashioned. I have already put another coconut ice cube in here. As we drink this, that frozen coconut water is going to slowly change the cocktail over time, adding more and more coconut flavor to our pineapple rum. So this is a drink that's going to evolve as you go through it. So there you have my attempt at 2 tiki old fashions, both in our Speakeasy Spirits rocks glasses that are available on the Speakeasy Spirits store. Link is in the description below. Let's start with the coconut. It still keeps the essence of an old-fashioned. It's very spirit-forward. We've got the Angostura bitters adding those spices. Angostura is very common in tiki drinks, so it is helping to add to those tiki flavors. The coconut is not sweet. This is still a fairly dry cocktail. The coconut rum is not sweetened, so that 1 bar spoon of sugar isn't adding too much sweetness, and I think coconut sugar already is a little less sweet than white sugar. But it does add just enough sweetness to balance it out. Now the lime, you pick up a little on the nose from the garnish, and maybe a little hint of the acidity of the lime right up front, which is then replaced with the coconut and the spices. And then at the end, some of those coconut oils remain and coat your mouth and leave you with a really pleasant, nice coconut flavor. This is a drink that can stay with you for a few minutes after you sip it. And now our pineapple coconut old-fashioned. You definitely get that pineapple smell right on the nose. It's a little sharper because of the additional acidity of the pineapple, but definitely not sweet. This is more like an underripe pineapple. Still very spirit-forward. You can definitely tell that the basis for this one was the dark rum. This one has more molasses and a lot of bolder flavors than this one. It was made with a lighter Barbados rum. Here you're getting more of the brown sugar notes, where here you get some darker, richer flavors. On the finish, you're left with the pineapple essential oils and the coconut oils, which really leave a lingering, nice tropical taste. With only 3 ingredients, 4 if you count the coconut water ice cube as an ingredient. I don't know that these qualify as tiki cocktails, but the flavors are fantastic. And if you happen to have a bottle of the Stiggin's pineapple or the Cut Dry Coconut, this is a great way to enjoy them. It's a nice, slow sipper where you really get to explore all of the depth of flavors in these bottles. I plan on doing more videos in this series of Tiki-fy this. So if you have an idea for a classic cocktail recipe that you want to challenge me to make a tiki version of, leave it in the comments below. I read every comment and respond to all that I can. I hope you liked the video. If you did, be sure to like and subscribe. We'll see you next time.